Hi, my name is Rocco Iannetta. I've worked in the pharmaceutical industry for 35 years, and I recently retired this past July 2025. My objective with these videos is to really help people kind of back where I was several years ago, call five, really to plan that early retirement to achieve that freedom sooner. Achieve your freedom. You worked a long time, and if you were a saver, then now might be the time. I had a good career in a great industry, and it was good to me and my family. And my wife worked for about 15 years in administration for one of the local school districts. So not everybody's got the same situation, but if you're watching this video and one's like it, you're probably thinking to yourself, at this point in your career, when can I retire? Will I be able to retire? Or you're just tired of the grind, tired of dealing with knuckleheads at work. We all got them at work. And I laugh because I was maybe one of those knuckleheads that somebody had to deal with. Or just tired of kissing ass. Or watching the ass kissers, because there's a lot of them out there. And at times, you got to do what you got to do because you're trying to make a buck. Number two is understand your savings, your investments, and your debt. Debt is important. Got to understand it, because you have a lot of debt. Unless you make tons of money, have a lot invested, it's going to be tough to retire early. I made a nice living, and my wife, but you got to get rid of the debt, and that just helps expedite your path to freedom. And I'm not a financial wizard. I'm not even that good with math, but explore maybe using a financial planner. Accountants are good too, but especially if some accountants, I had started out, my accountant did some financial planning, so it kind of got me off to a good start, a good path. But it takes some time. Some people are against paying them. Make sure it's a fiduciary, but people don't want to pay them 1%. Some of them are 0.75%. But like I tell my financial planner, number one, I wouldn't have retired when I did if it wasn't for him. Number two, I tell them all the time, you make me more money, I'll pay you 2%. So it's just one of those things where they're the experts. They're doing it every day. They know all the inside baseball, much like you did in your career too, right? And an outsider comes in, you're gonna be the expert. So that's key, as well as part of the team, if you will, as you're building the team. You got your spouse, so you got to have them bought into it. They might still be working. They may want to continue to work if you retire, which is great. That helps out, especially if they hold the health benefits for you. And then just friends. As you get older, obviously you have older friends. They're in their 60s. You may know people that retired. They've been retired for 2, 3, 4 years. People that retired before 60. Talk to them. Ask them the process, the thought process that they went through, the challenges that they went through. Learn from people that already did it. You don't have to recreate the wheel. You'll be thinking of the same things. As I spoke to people, I'm just like, I'm thinking about this. Did you? Yeah, and this is how I addressed it. That's important. Family too. You could talk to, if you have older brothers or sisters, or even if you're younger, they might have some expertise in certain areas and, give you some advice. But most importantly is you got to set a goal, objectives, and timeline, because it's not going to happen overnight. You got to get rid of debt. You don't get rid of debt in 2 or 3 months. It might take, 2, 3, 4 years. If you have a mortgage, find out how much you got left on it, make extra payments, get rid of it. I know a lot of us have the low interest mortgages from several years back, but get it paid off. That's a subject of debate. Some folks say, some professionals say, you should keep a mortgage, but me personally, I didn't want any debt free. Get as small as you can. Get real small. Same thing with your cars. I always had a nice car. I had a generous car allowance throughout my career. So I figured, geez, I'm going to work hard. I'm going to drive a nice car. But you just got to get out of that mentality. I went from driving some pretty nice cars to, a Toyota hybrid. It's not as fast as my old cars and doesn't move the same, but hey, it gets me from A to B and don't have a car payment. And my insurance is less. And see, you have to make some trade-offs. It's all about getting your mind in the right, it's about getting the right frame of mind. You can train your brain to do anything. You can get used to anything. And that's what you have to do. Maybe downsize your house. Maybe you don't need the big house, got rid of that. Less yard work, less things to clean, take care of. But some people, they want to make that statement. Oh, hey, if you make a really, really good living and you're not planning on retiring for the next several years, then that's great. But, everybody's different. Everybody's situation's different. But these are just some things I'm throwing out there. If you're in your mid-50s and you want to be done by the time you hit 60, well, you got to get rid of those expenses because you're going to have another big one. Healthcare, because you don't get Medicare till you're 65. So you got to minimize all that. Get no expenses because it costs you a couple $1,000s a year for healthcare, whether it's COBRA or you buy it on the market, etc. So those are some things that you definitely want to think about. Develop that plan, and till next time, I'll put out some more detailed information and plans that I executed. Talk about challenges, but until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.